I'm Emily Lawrence Mendoza with SweetMommyMom.com. Today I have a perfect HobbyFarm.com craft for you. Super simple, 2-minute pumpkins with supplies that you should already have lying around the house. So the first things that you're going to need to make these pumpkins are a piece of fabric. Also a fabric cloth napkin could also work really well. You want your fabric to be about the size of a napkin or a bandana. Next, you're also going to need a sheet of newspaper. Then you'll need a mason jar, a paper tube, basically a paper towel roll or a toilet paper roll work perfect, a couple of pieces of soft foliage from your yard. I have some leaves from my sugar gum tree. Anything will really work. Something with a stem works best. You also want it to be either picked from your trees right as they're starting to turn or recently fallen, because the more pliable they are, the better. And then you'll also want a piece of either brown craft paper or a brown lunch bag. You could also use newspaper if you didn't have this, but I kind of like the solid look personally. So let's go ahead and make our pumpkins. So the first thing we're going to want to do is we're going to take our fabric, we're going to lay it out on our work surface, and we're going to stick our mason jar right in the center. Then we're going to take our brown paper tube, or doesn't really matter if it's brown, but our paper tube, and we're going to go ahead and stick it in the middle of our mason jar. If it's too tall, you're going to want to cut it down so that it's just under the lip of the jar. Next, we're going to go ahead and take our newspaper. We're just going to open up our sheet of paper and we're going to really loosely crinkle it down. We just kind of want to end up with a chunky tube of newspaper. This is going to be the stuffing for our pumpkin. You could use batting if you had that on hand. I just figure most people have newspaper and it's super easy and a great thing that's because you can recycle it right afterwards. You're going to just kind of form it around the base of your mason jar and once into a circular shape, and then you can kind of tuck it in to get it to hold its shape while you're working with it. You can kind of squish it and get it to the form that you like. Next, we're going to take the corners of our fabric and we're going to tuck them into the paper towel tube that is inside of our mason jar. You could tuck them directly in the mason jar and skip the tube, but I find that the tube provides a little bit better of a holding because it's a little tighter. So you're just going to kind of start with one corner and bunch it up and tuck it in, and you're going to just kind of follow around in a circle. And you're going to keep bunching and pleating and tucking as you go so that you kind of end up with a really even fold and you can't tell where the corners are. The creases really give a good pumpkin-y gourd texture. So you just, and you really can't go wrong. If it's a little mushy on one side, you can go back in and tighten it out. So we're just going to quickly go around and tuck it in. So we're done. And then once we have that done, I like to just kind of fluff it, even it out, try to make it the shape that I wanted. Next, we're going to take our brown craft paper bag. We're going to go ahead and just roll it up. This is going to be our stem. So we don't really need it to be perfect. It can be a little crinkled. Really, imperfection in this project makes them better. Once I get to the end here, I'm just going to cut the bottom of the bag off and use this later to make some sort of a treat container. Now my stem is obviously too tall for my pumpkin, but what I'm going to go ahead and do is just stick it all the way down in as far as I can get it to go. And then I'll just cut it off right where I feel like I want the height to be. Lastly, we're just going to add our foliage to add a little bit of added detail and color. So we're just going to take the stem of our leaf and we're just going to kind of stick it right down next to the brown paper stem of our pumpkin. I'm going to wedge it all the way in there. You can add another one if you like. And then just kind of let them sit on the top. So there you go. A really simple project. The best part about it, you don't have to store it for next year. You can just take everything apart, put your fabric away, reuse your mason jars, and recycle the rest. Thank you so much, and have a great day.